All right, we're back with another episode of an Anarchist conversation. A little bit of a different spin I'm going to go with today. I'm not really going to start off talking about current events. I'm going to dive right into another podcast that I found that is interesting. It's run by, it's called Choice Conversations, and it's run by Chris Stefanik. I might be saying that wrong. Stefanik. Anyway, he runs a podcast that's basically it's similar to mine in a sense. Basically, he's just having conversations about it. I could almost say anarchist culture in a sense. One thing I saw he was talking about recently was Stefan Molyneux. He had a series he was kind of calling the Fall of Stefan Molyneux. I think he did 4 or 5 installments. But I mean, I haven't listened to everything. I literally just stumbled upon this the other day, and basically, I thought it was interesting. Figured I'd share with you guys. So check it out. That's Choice Conversations. That is actually an interesting topic. I mean, maybe I'll get into it a little bit right now. But yeah, what is going on with Stefan Molyneux? I know years ago, when I first started listening to him, he sounded quite a bit different than he does now. To a certain extent, of course, he still tries to, stay to his roots or what seemed like his roots, but still kind of hang on to anarchy. But at the same time, he's talking about Trump and supporting Trump, and you just you don't really know what to make out of it. It's kind of hard to make any real sense out of, the dude seemed to always be rather objective, and everything seemed to always fall into place and make objective sense rationally, But yeah, I don't quite follow him into that realm myself, which Choice Conversations and Chris, the host over there, certainly seem to agree with. But anyway, yeah, check them out. I think they'll be a good time. Maybe I'll even try to reach out to them and get one of them on the podcast here, or maybe I can join them at some point. We'll see what happens. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is music a little bit. I found an interesting band. I'm actually friends with the vocalist on Facebook. I have quite a few friends on Facebook that I don't actually know in person, but have come in contact with through a million different ways. Sometimes it's just, oh, look, that guy said something that, I kind of agree with. Let me see if he wants to be friends. Maybe we'll share information and thoughts and whatever. So anyway, Dean Maroney actually is the vocalist for the band Divide and Conker. They've been a band since 2016. They describe themselves as having a funk, alternative, and hip-hop sound, and they just kind of do whatever they damn well please. They're from Lancaster, United Kingdom, and they're actually currently working on an EP. I know they have 2 videos on YouTube for you to listen to. I think they're kind of fun. I've seen the vocalist Dean Maroney. He sometimes makes some videos on YouTube, just he's got something to say about something political, and he says some interesting things. I think he's pretty smart, intelligent human being. I would probably agree with him quite a bit on some things. We might disagree on some things too, but anyway, I respect the man. He seems like a cool guy, and so does the band Divide and Conquer again. And I actually thought I was gonna try to just play a little bit of a YouTube video right now during the podcast and just kind of see if maybe you guys can hear it. So yeah, this is Divide and Conquer. The song is Dirty Hustle. Give me the mind going in tonight, hope you see time. If you didn't realize you the sickest guy, you ain't listen right. We're clean up that So anyway, I kind of enjoy that. That's seems like a fun song. Divide and Conquer, Dirty Hustle. Anyway, yeah, kind of like the style. The chorus is pretty cool. Dirty, that's kind of groovy, or whatever you want to call it, funky. And then the actual verse, he comes in, and it's just, I don't know. I like the way he flows. I enjoy the way it goes with the music. I've always personally been a fan of horns, so anyone who's being creative with a band and horns, it kind of pulls me out. So that's cool. But anyway, so yeah, check out Divide and Conquer. That was their song "Dirty Hustle." Anyway, moving on to a little bit of current events. Support Sanders is supporting Clinton. Okay. When the primary first started, I did a decent amount of ragging on Sanders and Sanders supporters. And I guess once it became brutally obvious that no matter what they did, no matter how hard they voted, that somehow Sanders was going to get pushed out and Clinton was going to be the nominee. Once that became obvious, I guess I kind of had some sympathy for him in a sense. I kind of backed off a little bit, I'll be honest. But at the same time, I do kind of like, I got to point this out, as far as like what's going on. I mean, he's basically completely contradicting or throwing out his philosophy, his principles, if you will. I mean, how often did he rail against basically what Clinton is, what she stands for, or does she stand for anything? Just who she is in general, like what she does, the people that end up surrounding her, like the things that are done because of her and whatever, and now there he is. I mean, I heard a lot of people say, oh, why doesn't he join Jill Stein on the Green Party? Is it that I would have more respect for him if he did that? Maybe. I guess, because can you respect someone that clearly contradicts and abandons their principles? I think that, yeah, sure. Back in my statist days, Ron Paul, he's the only guy that I could say right now I know for a fact never abandoned principle as far as being who he was. Yeah, all right. He debatably, as a statist, he had to have abandoned some principles somewhere because he's still a statist. Was whatever. I'm not sure exactly where he's gone since he's been out of office, but at the same time, for who he wasn't abandoning his principles. Whatever he said, that's what he did. However he said he was going to vote, that's how he voted. So what I'm just getting at here is, Sanders comes out seeming like he's going to fight the good fight for his supporters anyway, and then just basically lays down at the end of the game or end of the race and says, all right, fine, here it is. I'm kind of surprised in a sense. I would have thought, I mean, is that a sign that he's not going to run again? Like, how do you come back from this? Is he really going to run again in 4 years and be like, oh, hey, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, I supported Clinton, but, I didn't really mean to. Now I'm going to, go back to the way things were, or, whatever. I can't see that playing out well with the voters and the people and whoever. Really, like, how does that go? Oh, so you were A, and then you said you were going to support B, and now you're back to A again? I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always going to be the diehards. That's for sure. I mean, he certainly has a strong following, so it's not like there's no way he could, put another campaign together or something like that. He absolutely can do that. He's got the numbers, but I just couldn't see him coming back and winning after doing something like that, like completely just betraying everyone that, was working for him basically. But, well, anyway, the last bit of interestingness, I guess, I'm just putting it out there as kind of a warning. I just saw this online. PokemonGo. what I'm hearing it being described as is it could potentially become the most detailed location-based social graph ever compiled. Why? You're probably wondering why that's being said. Well, for starters, it's got GPS, right? All right. So where's it go from there? Basically, it can track where you are, when you're there, how you got there, how long you stayed, and who else was there. Obviously, of course, anyone using that, PokemonGo. Now, what's the name of the company? Niantic is the developer, and basically, in the privacy policy, they can collect your email address, IP address, the last web page you were on before you went to Pokemon Go, and the username and location. And unless you manually revoke this access, they have access to your entire Google account if you use Google to sign into Pokemon Go through an iOS device. Put all that together. It's like, anyway. I mean, am I going to sit here and say, don't play Pokemon Go? It's like, as if no one else does this sorts of stuff. No, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, I got to throw out a word of caution. Is this really what we all want? You know what I mean? Like, do we all really, well, anyone who wants to play Pokemon Go, do you really want this company basically building a social database with your location constantly involved? Like, it's not like Facebook where, if you sign in, it knows where you are, or, like your phone, you can just turn your location settings off. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like, you basically have to have the GPS and location system working on in order to play the game. Otherwise, I mean, I'm assuming, I guess, but I'm pretty sure it needs to know where you are in order to be able to interact with the Pokemon and you know what I'm saying? Like, to mesh reality with their video game, they kind of have to know where you are. So I doubt there's much of a way around that other than not playing the game, at least at this point. You know what I mean? I mean, could there somehow be a hack and then people can play the game through like solely local servers or something? Maybe. I don't know how they would do that. I'm not that techie, to be quite honest. But I just wanted to point this out. Pokemon Go is like this big craze right now. Everyone's talking about it. And I mean, yeah, as soon as I heard about it, I was just like, how easy. And someone had mentioned, the crimes are going to happen. People are going to get jumped, blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, quite honestly, like, you could track a Pokemon, I guess, and I might not know exactly how the game works, but could you not track a Pokemon that, maybe someone else is tracking, or like, kind of hide and ambush them while they go to get the Pokemon that is there already, kind of thing? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, is there some crazy stuff going on? But at the same time, look, it's new technology. There's always going to be things that weird us out and don't go quite right and blah, blah, blah. So I understand all that as well. But, I mean, yeah, we're not in a free society. We're in a statist society where a lot of things happen that might not, or probably wouldn't, or definitely wouldn't happen if there wasn't a state. So that's one of those things where, I almost wonder if advancements in technology such as this, would there really be all this backdoor stuff where it, they're tracking all this information, saving this information, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's one thing. I'm not sure if I said that. The developer does hold on to all this information. So realistically, if the developer ever gets hacked again, like, there's all that information. Who's hacking them? Geez, for all we know, the CIA could be hacking them, getting all that information. FBI, who knows? I mean, I guess they could just go down there, knock on the door, and say, give us that information, or else we pull guns. But, maybe they just don't want to be that obvious, and they'd rather just hack them. So, anyway, I think that's about enough on Pokemon Go. It's been fun. I will be shooting to do another episode definitely Sunday morning, probably around 11 a.m. Eastern time. I might do another one before the weekend. If so, maybe Friday, early afternoon or something like that. So if you do want to call in, I forgot to plug the phone number at all this whole time. If you want to go live, write this phone number down, 732-685-4448, 732-685-4448. That's the phone number to call me. I'll basically put you on speakerphone and we can have a conversation here real quick if you call in while I'm live. So yeah, Friday and Sunday. Friday probably early afternoon, Sunday 11 a.m. Eastern time, of course. And check out Choice Conversations again. That's another podcast I just found. Divide and Conker. That's banned from the UK. Very fun. And beware of the issues with PokemonGo. And I'll see you guys next time on the next episode. Have a good one.